young men opened fire at a 12-year-old girl's birthday party. It happened Saturday night in the garage of this home in the 600 block of Golfview Drive in LaPlace.
I was in here with him. As soon as I walk in the kitchen, pop. It's crazy.
The girl's mother did not want to be identified.
Anybody have any idea why the girl's mother doesn't want to be identified? Anybody have any idea why this sister can't tell the news anchor on the local station about the little boys that shot up her daughter's birthday party at her house? Any idea why this black woman is self-silencing herself? Could it be the Klan? Could it be Trump supporters, Capitol rioters? Who's responsible for this sister not being able to talk? And we know she ain't talked to the cops. Nobody at the party talked to the cops. You got a party where 9 little kids around Ma'Khia's age was shot, and not one person has spoken to the authorities. This was captured on cell phone. I wonder why they didn't talk about this on the mainstream news media. I wonder why we didn't hear about this from all the pro-black blue checks. And I get YouTubers. I'm not talking about YouTubers. My fellow YouTubers. It's exhausting covering this. If you're a YouTuber, a black YouTuber, and you can't cover all this stuff, man, I ain't knocking you. The reason I do is because, that's kind of like, my job, That's what I do that. But all the other ones that, catch this story, catch that story, look how many men, you didn't even know this happened. No one even knew this happened. 9 black teens shot at a party between 12 and 16. 9 of them didn't hear a peep about it.
The girl's mother did not want to be identified.
She just wanted to have one more party here in Louisiana and have fun with her friends before she moved to Atlanta and create more memories. And this is not how I want her to remember her 12th birthday party.
9 guests sustained injuries during the shooting. The victims range in age from 12 to 17. Their injuries included a number of graze and gunshot wounds. One 14-year-old boy was shot in the head and
Let me tell you how sick pro-blacks are. A pro-black could get in my comment section and be like, you said 12 to 16. They was ranging in age from 12 to 17. And that'll be the end of his comment. A pro-black, that's the only comment he'll have or she'll have about this video. I've been doing this for years, 4 years, been a YouTuber. I know. The only comment I'm going to get from a pro-black is something like that. You said 12 to 16, it was really 12 to 17. That was the range of the victims. I've been doing this for too long. I know them. They don't care.
9 guests sustained injuries during the shooting. The victims range in age from 12 to 17. Their injuries included a number of graze and gunshot wounds. One 14-year-old boy was shot in the head, and a 16-year-old was hit in the stomach. None of the injuries appear to be life-threatening. St. John Parish Sheriff Mike Trigg says two young men with an ongoing feud met up at the party.
There was a confrontation, turned verbal, somewhat turned physical. One party pulled a weapon and started shooting, and that party pulled a weapon and started shooting. So you got gunfire going both ways.
The girl's mother says neither her nor her daughter know the shooters. She believes they were uninvited guests at the birthday party.
Now, who want to be the dude to go and tell them little boys they gotta leave? The uninvited guests. Who want to do that? Who want to sign up for that? You know it ain't no man in the house. So, who gonna be the uncle? Yeah, Uncle Willie. We got some boys over here, and we at Niecy little party, and we didn't invite them boys. Can you come over here and tell these little boys to leave? You break it up. You break it up. What, you under a bridge or something? I can't hear you. Click. You better call the police. Oh yeah, that's right. If you call the police, somebody gonna die, right? For no reason, right? So now you, and then if you call the police on these little boys, unlike back in the day where they would leave, now they gonna stay because they know everybody gonna be recording and they gonna make a scene. While everybody got their camera phones out and force the police to do something to them so they can go viral. So they can get a GoFundMe. So they can get jacked up and Or they gonna leave once you call the police, and they gonna tell you that they gonna come back and get you because you tried to get them killed. Now little black boys look at it like you call the police on them, you try and get me killed. Black community, you done set up a terrible, they just going by what y'all tell them. These little boys will retaliate against you for calling the police on them. At your house. Because you trying to get them killed. Because when you call the police, that means it's guaranteed. Even though there's 17,985 police departments in this country, working 365 days a year, every year. And you can name every nigga that got killed unjustly. And all of the ones that got killed unjustly, they was not unjust.
There was a confrontation, turned verbal, somewhat turned physical. One party pulled a weapon and started shooting, and that party pulled a weapon and started shooting. So you got gunfire going both ways.
The girl's mother says neither her nor her daughter know the shooters. She believes they were uninvited guests at the birthday party.
Now a lot of kids injured. Even if they weren't physically injured, they're gonna be traumatized for the rest of their life.
Sheriff Trigg says 50 to 100 people were at the party and a lot of people saw what happened. He's asking witnesses to come forward and talk to investigators to help solve this crime.
This cannot go unchecked. Somebody has to face the consequences with pulling out guns at a birthday party for a little kid.
It's not even at a birthday party. At my house, at my child party, that makes a difference. You don't want to know what I think.
In Laplace, Palmer v. Eyewitness News.
Anyone with information about that shooting is encouraged to call the St. John Sheriff's Office tips line at 985-359-TIPS. Or you can always call Crime Stoppers at 504-822-1111. Two news events that have people on edge are the pandemic and the killing of George Floyd. Well, those two issues recently combined to cost a St. Bernard school bus driver her job. Investigative reporter Mike Perlstein explains in this exclusive report.
Like, I get chills right now. It hurt me. It hurt me.
Rose Gabriel's 11-year-old son, Rashad.
Now, this sister ain't had no problem getting in front of the camera. She ain't had no problem. When it's white people, when you telling on white people and getting white people fired and can't pay their bills and can't feed their family and embarrassing them publicly and getting them locked up and arrested and microaggressions, nothing gonna happen to you. You can show your face all you want, sister. Ain't nobody do nothing to you. And you know that. You ain't worried. You ain't. This woman would have a heart attack if some white person came up and said something to her about this. She would be so shocked. She would fall out. She would faint and hit her head. And then the white person would go to jail for that. She ain't got no fear or no retribution. And you see that in all cases like this. When it's white people, these mothers there, when it's them little, when it's Pookie and Ray Ray, she'll show her face. No comment. But it happened at your home. At your daughter's birthday. No comment. I don't know. I ain't seen nothing. I don't know nothing. Bye. White person cut in front of you in the line at Walmart. Where the news cameras at?
Like, I get chills right now. It hurt me. It hurt me.
Rose Gabriel's 11-year-old son, Rashad, is usually carefree and chatty when she meets him after his bus ride home from school. But one day earlier this month, Rashad was unusually quiet.
Mom, the bus driver said something to me that was racist.
The 6th grader told his mom that the bus driver scolded him after his face mask slipped below his nose. He told his mom he was out of breath after running to catch the bus. Gabriel recounted what the driver said.
Since George Floyd, that's what y'all all say, but I don't see a knee on your neck. I'm like, are you sure she said that? He said, yeah, all the kids on the bus heard it.
Not only did other kids hear the George Floyd comment, but it was recorded on the bus's onboard camera.
I just started crying. Because she tried to make my son feel like he is not supposed to be where he was, and just don't make him feel inferior. He's not inferior to nothing. He's just as equal as any one of those students on that bus.
After keeping her son off the bus for a day, Gabriel reported the driver's comments. The driver admitted what she said, and the matter quickly reached the desk of longtime school superintendent Doris Vautier. Vautier took swift action. The employee is now out of a job. The superintendent could not reveal whether the driver was fired or resigned because it's a personnel matter, but she did have some strong things to say. In a telephone interview, Vautier said, quote, "She no longer works for our school system. I can't defend that. I don't condone that. What she said is offensive and inappropriate. It was racially insensitive, and we took appropriate action."
I know for sure it made me relieved that I know that she's no longer on the bus with my son or any other, body's child.
With the controversy now in the rearview mirror, Rose Gabriel said she can concentrate on something less stressful, making her son the happy student he was before. Mike Pearlstein, Eyewitness News.
Vautier said she was especially sensitive to the matter because the Chauvin trial was in full swing whenever the driver made that offensive comment.
Anybody notice that if you watch CNN or MSNBC yesterday, no one is happy. They're all upset that they can't go out and riot and break into stores and steal stuff. They just knew they was going to be able to destroy things all night and for the next couple of weeks. But the jury, intimidated by the likes of Maxine Waters, came back with the guilty verdict. And they were all left looking dumb. So they had to find a reason to be mad. Now they all just mad. Everybody's mad. All the liberals are mad. It's the damnedest thing.
You say you take issue with the scores of people overnight who said, this is justice. What do you mean? Why?
Yeah, this is not justice. I don't want anyone to get confused about the journey that we're on, the journey that we're on together. I mean, there are a couple of things. Justice would be George Floyd alive. Justice would be policy and reforms in place that ensure that when police interact with people of color, they can live through those interactions. Yesterday was a good step when it comes to accountability, though. And you have to have some hope, because finally we have accountability in a criminal justice system that hasn't ever been there before. And so that is why people are breathing easier. That's why people are having some semblance of hope, because of that accountability. But let's just think back to when George Floyd was murdered. Think back to the press release that was issued from the police department saying that there was a medical incident. Think back to the fact that but for us having this young lady who decided to take out her cell phone and have the footage, and but for the fact of millions of people around the globe marching, we would not be here today. And so, no, this isn't justice, but this is accountability, and we have to take some pride and some hope that at least we've gotten that.
And that's another thing that all the black people on CNN and MSNBC are doing, man. And I swear I only watch that stuff for you guys. So make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the PayPal. Hit the Cash App. Light up that Super Chat. Share these videos. Because I only watch this crap for y'all, man. I promise you, man. All the black people are talking about accountability. I heard accountability probably 50, 60 times from 50, 60 different people in the last 36 hours, since the, 48 hours, whatever, however long it's been since the verdict. I'm like, damn, that's a word you never hear from the black community. Now all of a sudden you hear accountability.
Here, I felt so passionately about speaking about this issue. I gave birth to my son just 3 weeks ago, and I was at the hospital, and the trial was on the television. And I couldn't help but think that this is the world that my son will inherit. You know, and as much as having a child is a moment of joy for our family, the older he gets, who will see him as a threat, right? Or even his father, right? Who perceives him as a threat just because he exists in the world. And so what was powerful about this trial was the moments in which George Floyd was humanized. And it's a shame that in this country, we have to even argue that someone is a human when they lose their life. But, you know, the testimony from his brother, talking about how he was as a child, how he was as a father, the memories that they had together, this spark of life testimony, I think is what will stick with the jury. And so, you know, the prosecution effectively argued that this wasn't about a heart attack.
And there are white people that believe this crap that these Negroes talking about. It's white people that believe it. It's white people that know it's BS, but they go with it because they're political allies with these Wakandans. And then there's white people that know this is a load of crap, but they can't say nothing because they want to keep their job. Oh my God. And then you got black people who all inwardly know this is crap, but they're allowed to say it, so they say it enough to where it's kind of like a crutch. Like, it explains everything. If you ain't got nothing, it's because white people. If you get locked up, it's because of white people. If you're just bad at something, you're just not good at it, whatever it is, because of white people. You fall short because of white people. Didn't hit the mark because of white people. You didn't qualify because of white people. You didn't get into racism. It's like a crutch, literally like a walking stick, you know?
So many young people from that community sitting in prison, and cops getting away with murder over and over again. That's what justice looks like. When people break all we want is the police to obey the law. We're not asking for anything but that. For the police to obey the law. And when they break the law, they should have handcuffs just like anybody else. We don't want them to be below us or beneath us. They should obey the law. That is what justice looks like.
Why don't black people get the police? They're not the same. By his logic, if some chick's crazy psycho boyfriend is banging on her door right now, she should call him. She should call Van Jones. Hey, Van! Kill her! Glock 9 is at the door. He keep banging on my door. Can you come over here right now and get him to stop? And take him to a place and lock him in a cell? And then give him a piece of paper that says he can't come over here anymore? And if he does, you're going to put him back in the cell? Police aren't the same as you, idiot. Why don't we get that, man? We're the only people that don't get that. They're not the same. They have special privileges and special powers. And we give them allowances because of the job that they do.
And one of those people who was very emotional when the verdict was read, I want you to introduce yourself, but also just tell me why you were so emotional once you learned that the verdict was read.
My feeling was it's very bittersweet because his family, much like a good friend of mine, Sandra Bland, Sandy as I knew her, will never see him again, will never touch him, will never hug him. His daughter will grow up without his father.
I'm getting sick and tired of you niggas throwing Sandra Bland in this shit. I'm getting tired of that, man. I did a video of Sandra Bland. I'll put the link to the Sandra Bland video in the pinned comment in the chat. That's gonna blow your mind, but they keep talking about Sandra Bland as if somebody killed Sandra Bland, as if Sandra Bland wasn't someone with deep mental issues who hung themselves in their cell. I'm getting tired of that though, man. Sandra Bland, she hung herself in her cell. She was batshit crazy. And she had about 1,000 run-ins with cops before she finally had the final one. When you see that video of Sandra Bland and look at her, and I lay out her record, not that I did any research, it's all public record. Her rap sheet is like literally like, it's people in the mafia ain't got rap sheets that long.
Good friend of mine, Sandra Bland, Sandy as I knew her, will never see him again, will never touch him, will never hug him. His daughter will grow up without his father. They'll never see him again. He's still 6 feet under. So justice, in my opinion, will never be served. But it is very bittersweet. It's at least something. We're getting somewhere in this country. We're seeing some progress.
So, we're at least getting somewhere, man. We're at least getting somewhere. I mean, it's basically the same as it was in 1832, but a slight movement. This country doing a little something. They done a little teeny bit since 1762, but, you know, whatever. Make sure you follow me on Twitter I was tweeting about this yesterday. You can see my comments on things before I make my videos. I go on Twitter every day and I watch CNN and MSNBC. I do it for y'all, man. It's hard, man. Make sure you hit that cash app, hit that PayPal, hit that super chat, man. Peace. I'm out, man.